This thing working yet? What the hell?
Come on, get around. You'll figure it out.
All right, guys. Welcome to Haunters Hangout Season 5, Episode 6. And we're here live to show you all these crazy-ass haunters. I'm sure it's going to be a nice chatty group. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Say hi again, just for the hell of it.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. All right, so first thing off, we're going to go over the prizes that we're going to have this week. Jamie.
There you go.
Oh, right.
I am on it.
She is killing it.
I am on it.
She is. Okay, this week we are going to have a clown mask from Face Factory FX. Very cool looking mask. We have 2 crackers from Fright Props.
Crackers.
Us.
You're going to do that again? We have 1 gallon of bog fog from Froggy's Fog. We have Something Wicked, Sounds of Horror and Halloween from Sam Haynes. Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. We have the original soundtrack effects from The Haunted House and Escape Room, Sinful Audio. Okay, we're going to hand it over to Jackie and let her get the show started after she announces everybody that's on. There you go.
All right. First tonight we have Don and Jim Slanker from Canyon Trail Cemetery in Carroll Stream, Illinois. They're supposed to be clapping.
I thought they were frozen. I'm like,
That was
I was like, they're not moving. Something's wrong.
We have S.K.Austin and Kristy Noble from the Haunting Grounds in Scotia, New York. Reverend Michael and Mistress Laurie from Sinister Sidney in Sydney, Iowa. And Bill Bornder, Mindtrap-Haunted attraction.
And Bill.
Bornder. It doesn't come out right.
His woman didn't make it today. We tried to get her.
Mindtrap-Haunted attraction in Bloomington, Illinois. All right, Don and Jim, tell us a little bit about yourselves and your haunt.
Well, we do a display, technically. I know there's some people who have that discussion. But this is our, 12th year? 12th year.
I think so.
Yeah, we started 2006, so this will be our 12th year.
Nice.
I guess if you had to describe it, it would be heavy in pneumatics. I think that's what we're known for.
Yeah.
Is a lot of the pneumatics. We are a haunter couple. I do the mechanical side of it, and then when there's something artistic needs to be done, I turn it over to Dawn and say, hey, I need a pumpkin head or some kind of mask or top for it, and she sculpts or does whatever to do that. So.
Damn, I'm jealous, man. I hate you guys.
That is actually my ultimate compliment. Is if I tell you I hate you, that means that
It's the best. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I hate you. I hate your ass. There you go. I even put the cuss word on the end just to make it more better. And you guys are part of the Chicago club too. That's like one of the baddest groups out there. You guys are like always building crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's Chicago Haunt Builders. It's an amazing group of people who just have skills and talents that you just wouldn't believe, and just a great group of people that'll. You have a question, and there's someone who knows the answer and who's going to help you. So we're pretty active.
Yeah, I remember last, what was it, a couple of years ago or something, we had like a all Chicago Builders show, man. Wow, there was a lot of great people on that show.
There's some amazingly skilled people in the group.
And they're all pneumatics almost, right?
Yeah, very heavy in the pneumatics, yeah.
All the people are pneumatics? Cool.
Right.
That just means you're full of hot air.
We've got our first question of the night, if you'd like.
Whoa.
For Jim,
All
for
right.
Jim and Dawn.
Dang.
How long? It's from Chris Stebbins. How long does it take you to set up, and how many lights? And does it cost you more for your energy bill?
Well, that's multiple questions.
That's 3 questions there.
Right.
3 questions in one.
So,
Right. You know what? Let's
Yeah,
move-
can we get through the,
Yeah,
let's
let's
Oh,
start
you
with-
don't want to start asking questions
Yeah.
yet? I'm sorry.
it's
Oh,
all right,
that's okay.
We'll forgive you this one time.
All right.
Damn it.
And
Any
just
other
don't ask
time, just
that one
interrupt.
question.
Okay.
All right.
SK and Kristy, tell us a little bit about yourselves and your haunt.
I'm turning this one over to her because last time I got stuck doing it. So go ahead.
Thank you, dear.
Stop.
So,
So
What a chore. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm originally from Arizona. About 3 years ago, it's been a little over 3 years, I migrated to New York. Migrated. And we combined forces for Halloween. So I had a haunt back in Arizona, Noble Manor. He has the haunting ground. So we just combined all of our forces into this. So he
By
is
forces,
very,
I think she means crap.
yeah, we've combined all of our crap. It's kind of coming out of the woodwork now. But he's a set designer, big time, if you can tell. And I do a lot of the mechanical. So
See, it's kind of like, you know, Jim and Dawn,
Yeah.
only reversed.
exactly.
She does all the techie shit, and I do the artistic stuff.
Yeah.
right. Well, okay. Well, I'll give it to you too. I hate both of you. I was going to use a stronger word, but I remember kids are watching. So.
Use it after.
It's probably the same. It's probably those same kids that get brought into the haunted hoochie.
Right. Now I know, Kristy, you had a pretty badass haunt. You still got your channel up?
Yes, I do. And I'm going to start playing with it again because now that we've got the CNC machine, I can try to avoid to let out the little magic smoke out of the machine.
Yeah.
Let's see what this does. Okay, well, we'll play again next week once I have a replacement motor.
Okay, Mike and Laurie, tell us a little
Hi.
bit about yourselves and your haunt.
Hi, Reverend Michael, Mistress Laurie. We have Sinister Sidney in Sidney, Iowa. We started haunt acting about 1978, off and on, and back in 2015 we started up it's a commercial haunt. I still think of it as a home haunt because it's only commercial because we can't afford to do it without charging something. Too much out of our pocket.
Right.
And Diablo hates us, so
Hey, we're golden.
Yeah. You already got that out there. I was like,
yeah, I already
gotta
got
say
that out there.
He hates Mike. I don't know that he hates me.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
he'll give
hate
you his address. He wouldn't give me his address.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a creeper. That's why.
The
The good news is he doesn't completely hate you because you're not from Texas.
Mm.
Yeah,
There you go.
Ah, yeah.
well, there was that one time in band camp, but
Okay, just Bill.
just Bill.
Tell us about yourself and your haunt.
Wow.
However, I don't think Diablo hates me just yet.
Right. See, I like
Yeah.
that.
It's
Give us-
really
See, I got
give us
that
a couple
going.
more minutes.
No,
The night is young.
if you reach over and make that head talk with you, then maybe I'm like, what the fuck?
All right, Just Bill is from Bloomington, Illinois. I run a haunt called Mindtrap-Haunted attraction. It's been going on for about 5 years now. I'm in a professional paintball facility inside. A couple years ago, a friend of mine, a classmate of mine, approached me, and I had a yard display, and he asked me if I could come decorate, and I ended up doing that, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I actually started it way back in the 1900s. Back in 1980 or so, my dad did a garage haunt in his garage, so I kind of grew up with that. And so that's how I was exposed to it. And then I helped out my dad by decorating and stuff and got involved. And then it just turned into me taking over. And now I'm doing it myself. In fact, that's the first mask I ever wore. That's a 1977 mask. Mike probably remembers that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I had 3 of them.
It's a Don Post Studios mask, but I don't know if anybody even knows who that is, but I do because I'm a buff on it. You do?
I do.
Okay. I was gonna ask to see if anybody knew, but you guys already know who it is.
We know all.
That's my. It's my favorite mask of all time. So that's
Very
what
cool.
kind of got me started.
Awesome. All right, Kathy, you want to fire away with that question again, the 3-parter?
Let's see.
Not on the spot or anything.
All right.
Well, it was how long does it take to put up the haunt, and how many lights, and does his bill go up?
And then is this just for Don and Jim, or is it for everybody?
It was just for Don and Jim.
Okay. Don and Jim, fire away.
Yeah, so by Halloween night, we'll have about 200 hours in setup and maintenance because we're set up the entire month. So I take an entire week off. It's 9 12-hour days, and then D takes off days and it's weekends. And there. We use LED. I don't know how many lights we have, 100 or so. But, you know, LED lights, I could run them off of all one circuit. It's the compressor that uses electricity. But to be honest with you, we spend more in fog juice than we do in electricity. So everyone comes up and goes, wow, your electrical bill must be huge. And it goes up a few bucks. But in the big scope of the cost, the electricity is the least of the worries.
Right. I mean, it's like just in the fact that you have so much pneumatics. I mean, how do you keep them all going without running out of air? That's like my biggest thing when I'm haunting. I'm like, I always run out of air. One prop always never works, you know?
Yeah, so we have an 80-gallon compressor. And there's like 36 pneumatics we have. And some of them are pretty big bore cylinders. You're talking 3-4 inch bore cylinders on some of them.
Like the big pumpkin. And
yeah, so I'll tell you, Halloween, I don't know how we managed to make it. It was, that compressor didn't shut off for hours. And it was, you know, even just managing the supply lines so that you have enough branches, because like a 5/8 inch line can only handle so many props. So you got to have multiple lines coming out, because when they're all getting pegged and firing at the same time, it's a challenge. And that's my limiting factor right now. And that's why we're trying to add some more motorized stuff in there. Is with 36, we've pretty well maxed out our ability for pneumatics.
dude, that's what I was thinking. Because I was thinking the same thing. I got to start doing more motors. And the guy at work was like, do not do any more pneumatics, man. Do not do any more.
You know, we have a lot of reserve. We have about 100 gallons of reserve. We have a 60-gallon reserve tank and then some smaller ones right at the props. But that only helps if they're not firing all at the same time. If you're getting pegged, it comes down to cubic feet per minute, and reserve tanks can be a negative at that point.
What
Right,
CFM does your tank have, your 80-gallon one? How fast is it?
I think it's a 16. I don't know. I don't have it memorized.
Wow.
Like 16 cubic feet.
Right. I was always wondering, like when I have like an air blaster or reserve tanks or stuff like that, I mean, would it be better to put a check valve in there so the rest of the props didn't use like if you put like a small reserve tank for a certain prop, like your bigger ones, you ever think of doing that, or just too much of a hassle?
Yeah, no. So for the big fellows, we'll put a reserve tank right by them, just because the you just can't get enough air quickly enough if it's firing right away to refill the cylinders. So I'll have reserve tanks right by some of the big fellows.
Do you got check bells on them?
No, I don't. But
because wouldn't the rest of all the props use them reserve tanks too, or no?
only if they're starving. So if and at that point, reserve tank's going to be a negative anyway, because it's going to be trying to fill up a pool with a hose at that point.
Yeah, because I was just wondering, because I was going to do that.
I have another question, if you'd like.
Sure, go for it.
Jim and Don from Bob Cowell. Is there a prop effect that you are really proud of that you think does not seem to get the attention it deserves?
Yeah, there's one. It's the pillar pillar that opens up and then sprays. So you have to understand, I have no engineering background or anything like that. I'm just incredibly stubborn. You didn't have to agree with me that quickly, but so it's the column that opens up and then sprays, and that took a lot of engineering that was way above my skill level. And people like it because it spits at them, but no one appreciates how challenging that was for me to do.
There was some actual swearing going on when he was making that one.
All right, I think Jamie has some pictures ready, so we're gonna go to pictures.
No problem. Here's
You
the
got
first
pictures?
She has pictures.
one. I have the pictures. Okay,
right.
so here's the first one. If you guys can see it.
There it was.
Well, it goes away, but so several years ago, we started getting pizzas delivered to us anonymously, and people wanting to donate money, and we're fortunate we can do this. We enjoy it for many reasons. So we said, you know what, if you want to do something, drop off some non-perishable food for the food pantry, or we're big on rescues. If you see them wandering around here, there's a couple Great Danes that we've rescued, and
If you see
Lots of horses there.
we've rescued. So we accept cash donations for the Great Dane rescue. So, we set up coffins on either side of the drive, and that's where people drop off the donations. And they're kind of like an information center for us. That's where we put our frequently asked questions, our list of other local haunts, comment cards. It's kind of just an information center for us in there. And we did a pickup truck load of food this year, and over $1,000 for the Great Dane rescue.
Oh, that's
great.
incredible.
Well, here's another picture. You want to tell us about this one?
Yeah, so we have an unusual lot. It's very long and very shallow, and we're on a corner. So that's the front of the house with the facade, and that side is the graveyard / witch area, and then the other side of the house on the corner side, the other side of the corner is our pumpkin side. But that's got our flying crank ghost, which is original prop from 2006, and that's how it all started. Was flying crank ghost and 2 other props that no longer exist.
Always love the flying crank ghost.
Pretty.
People love it. It's still one of the most popular ones out there.
Awesome. Kathy, do we have any more questions for the panel?
Oh, well, this is from Tim Wilkie for Jim and Don, but it could be for the panel.
Let's go ahead and have everybody answer this one.
Ever have a hard time deciding? Well, this is for the couples. Have a hard time deciding on an issue when you disagree.
So this is everybody but just Bill.
Poor Bill Bornder. Ever have a hard time deciding on an issue when you disagree?
So let's start with S.K. and Kristy.
Do we ever have a hard time?
Who wins? That's the question.
Who wins?
Yeah.
Who wins?
We don't really disagree. I suggest things and she agrees to it. She gives me a lot of creative leeway.
And I buy stuff.
And she buys stuff.
Right, dude. She's searing eyeing your ass right now, dude. She's like, you better say the right words and very carefully.
Yeah, we have our disagreements once in a while, I think I know that I'm very hard-headed when I see something.
Oh, you can stop right there.
When I know what.
Oh, here it comes.
When I have an idea in my head, I can be very bullheaded about taking suggestions on doing things differently. I have a way of doing things. And
Okay, hey, let's just make it like this for the panel. Give us an instance. That's what we want to hear.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, give us a instance where something went astray with the couples.
Something went astray. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot to pick up cereal for her today when we did. That turned angry
Well,
quick.
things like this. I mean, he's got it in his mind. This is what he wants to do, and then we might suggest, oh, it would look good if you added this. And no. This is how it's going to be done.
Not always no. It's not always.
Yeah.
No.
Well, here's
most
the
of the
thing.
time it's no.
Yes. Most of the time it's no. Most of the time
I'm
it's
glad we
no.
don't have those
And
problems.
then he thinks about it for a little while, and
Loving
then
it.
decides to go ahead and do it. And we're like, a minute.
Or it's just a flat out no, and there's a reason for it.
Most of the time, though, you say no, and then a short time later, suddenly you modify something in order to be able to incorporate it. Yeah.
That's what happens when you live with a woman long enough.
Michael and Laurie, how
You know, right now, all the other couples are like, let's think of something good. We're next. I don't know.
Actually, it's pretty easy. She wins.
No.
But
When
she gives me lots of leeway.
when it comes to the haunt, he's the boss.
Hey, you gotta give us an instance. We gotta have.
There are just certain props that I say no to, like the 20-foot dragon.
There you go.
No, that's not in the budget yet.
One day I will have my 20-foot dragon. One day.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Someday.
I want a 20-foot dragon.
Just
How about 7-foot dragon?
No, hold
I want
on.
a 25-foot dragon.
No, you got no place to put a 25-foot dragon.
You're not getting off so easy, Mike.
What?
What? Oh,
come on.
I can't buy something. Oh, that's our disagreement. No, give us something.
Honestly,
Give us
we
something.
don't.
Really?
We've been married for almost 5 years. We have yet to have an actual fight.
Because we're kind of the same person.
No, I'm not.
We're both twisted, but we're twisted the same direction.
No fights.
So
No
we-
fights.
We
All right,
always
move on.
tell
Move on
people-
to Bill. Move on to Bill.
Yeah, go somebody else if you want fights. You ain't getting here.
this one?
All right, Jim. Let us hear it.
I argue with myself.
Just Bill, you're excluded from this one.
No, Bill, you're not in this.
Sorry.
Is
Jim
just
and
that
Don.
head
Seems to be a
always
pattern.
agree with you?
Jim
Well,
and
unless
Don,
he's
give
got
us-
multiple personalities.
Give us something.
Yeah, well, there's a reason we don't do a Halloween party anymore.
Same thing.
So yeah, we pass on that. But for the haunt,
Yeah.
there's no lot of disagreement. Steve's got to put up with me when I'm really tired and cranky, and she does that. But disagreement, other than she does go
What if
and
you
give
do
me
this?
suggestions, and I look at her and I'm like, that defies the laws of physics, what you're asking me to do. And she's just like, this, and this. I'm like, that defies the laws of, how would I do that? The haunt, we don't actually,
No.
but,
Placement sometimes, but
right, she wants to do some goofy stuff sometimes. But.
All right, Bill. There's got to be something that you and yourself fight about.
Yeah, bring up those multiple personalities. Let us have it.
Oh, man, let's see. Last year, I got multiple personalities. All right, I talk to myself all day long. This is nice. I got somebody to talk to. I set up my haunt in such a small amount of time. I won't say how long it takes yet because I'm sure that'll be a question later on. But I'm so stressed out every year that when it comes time for me to throw a hammer or a drill through the wall, which is what happened last year, I threw a drill and it went through a wall panel. then it's probably time to stop. So that's I just work myself too hard. I just know that I need to give myself more time. That's all.
But then you cuss at yourself. You're like, damn it, Bill. Damn it.
Yeah. Yep.
Ground yourself. No dinner tonight.
Look, Just Bill, you need to get your shit together.
Get a
Sounds like a
handle on
good-
yourself, Just Bill.
Good reason to justify buying a new drill, right?
Oh,
Hey, there you go.
Hey,
Chris,
done that.
he's going, that's why you threw that drill, you little shit.
No, I've dropped drills from 6 feet and had to replace them.
see, I just throw the drill and be like, honey, the drill's broken. I got to buy a new one.
I'd be like, what the hell did you do to it now?
Kathy, what else do we have going on? Do we have any more questions for the panel?
Oh, we have lots of questions
Yay, we
tonight.
like questions.
Let him rip. Let's get through the question.
All right. Matt Burke wants to know, does anybody have any troubles with vandalizing or stealing of props?
not yet.
We
I
have one
worried
in
about
Yeah.
that from the get-go.
Knock on wood, but not yet.
Yeah. That's originally when I was in Arizona. I set up in the garage and I set up in the backyard and I wouldn't put anything in the front yard. I had a time where somebody tackled a snowman. And I feel for them because there was a juniper bush right behind it.
Good.
I have
Don
a
and Jim, how
cowboy.
about you? Oh, sorry. Don and Jim, how about you?
There was one incident that wasn't directed at us. They were going down the street throwing firecrackers out, and unfortunately, they hit the bales of straw, and it was really dry. But amazingly enough, and it'll happen sometime. We have never had anything happen. Although I hate this question because I always feel like someone's going
Don't
to
say it. Don't say it. Don't say it, Jim. We got you, man.
Someone's
Don't
going
say
to, I'm going to throw down gauntlet to them or anything. But I'll tell you, if someone did, the community would be with scythes and pitchforks and torches after them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
It's good when everybody's behind you.
Yeah, it would be ugly for that person.
Bill, how about you?
Well, my stuff's all indoors, so it's a locked facility. But when I did do my yard haunt, I built all of my characters with removable heads. And every single night, I would go out there and take all the heads off. Because if somebody took that head off, I'd be pissed. But then, like, the school buses would go by in the morning with the little kids on it.
No
you know,
heads.
and there's no heads on any of the guys. Yeah. Or I'm out there putting the heads on as the bus goes by. Getting into arguments with myself because I'm by myself. I'm just Bill.
Wow. Kathy, what else do we have?
Chris Wilhausen wants to know for the panel, what was the moment that inspired you to start doing what you do? What made you decide to
start haunting?
Yeah.
Wow. Haunting or building a haunt? I had one for building a haunt. For building a haunt, we had I had a friend who sent us a posting. She knew we were into Halloween, and she sent us a posting from the one of the swap pages that a gentleman, there's a guy in a town nearby us that had a yard display, covered 2 lots, and I guess he was into Halloween, his wife was into Christmas, and his wife finally said, I don't have room to get any more Christmas stuff, so your shit's got to go.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. And we went and we pretty much bought up everything he had, and we looked at each other and went, we looked at each other and went, you know what, we can do this. And that was the start of the haunt.
Bill, how about you?
Did you ask me?
Bill. Yes, just
Yeah,
Bill.
okay, sorry, I didn't hear it. I thought I heard it. I just heard,
His significant other was
heard,
talking.
what? What?
Bill? Oh, nothing, Bill. Okay. Like I said, my dad did it back in the 80s, and I didn't really participate it until he did a school carnival. And I remember in 3rd grade, I had worked myself into a scene. He was doing a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scene, and he was like operating. And oh man, my girlfriend's listening to this. I shouldn't say this part. There was a girl that I liked, and so now I'm gonna have to explain that later. It was 3rd grade, but girls don't forget anything. Anyway, so this is me talking to myself. So there was a girl going through the scene, and I wanted to impress her and scare her, and I got underneath the table. When my dad was doing the operating scene, I was going to slide out from underneath the table when he's like, come closer. And he was kicking me the whole time, like, what are you doing? And then I scared everybody. And that's like, that was the moment in 3rd grade when I was like, I love this, but then it turned into the guy approaching me when I had a yard haunt and saying, will you put together a haunted house for me? And in like 2 months' time, I went from a yard haunter to a pro haunter, and it was a nightmare. But 5 years later, I'm still trying to get it all together. But
nice.
SK and Kristy.
Well, I grew up. My mother decorated for every single holiday, and I mean every single holiday. If there was a holiday that was observed in any way, shape, or form, my mother had 1 million paper decorations that she would plaster all over the house. And Halloween being, 3 days after my birthday, I always kind of enjoyed all the stuff that she would put out for Halloween. And as my sister and I started getting older, she gave up on that. She thought, it was no longer necessary to decorate for the kiddie holidays. So I took all of her decorations and started decorating in my room. From there, it carried out into the front porch, and then it just kind of spread.
Okay, Don and Jim.
Oh, don't forget her. She got a story.
Okay. Sorry.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we originally started out, it was my sister and I, and we originally had her little Halloween kitschy little town that she used to display. And we had it set up in front of the garage. And then we got a fog machine that year. And I had the fog machine set up to where it was behind me. So when the kids came up, I could press the button and make the fog machine go off and make them jump. Well, that went over so well, I was hooked. The next year, we decked out the entire garage. At the time, it was plastic and Oriental Trading Company Halloween things. And it just kind of grew from there. And in 2007, that's when I started doing mechanics. I did tombstone poppers, also had, I should think that's where I started. And then I jumped into doing the animatronics.
Okay.
Nice.
Very cool. Don and Jim.
Yeah, there wasn't a moment. It kind of morphed into it. We always used to decorate the house
For the kids. And
for the kids, and we started with the pumpkin leaf bags, and we did wood cutouts and ghosts in the trees, and then back in 2006, it's like August, and I think I was surfing online for new cutout patterns for the wood cutouts, and that's when I stumbled upon the plans for the flying crank ghost and the crypt, and a couple other things, and I'm like, well, this is cool. I could do this. And so in a few weeks, got everything and whipped it out and, set it up, and it went from there. So that was 2006. 2007, it exploded. And in 2008, we had our first pneumatic, and they're like crack.
Then you're hooked.
They're like crack. Yeah.
All right, Kathy, one more question, and I think we're going to go back to the photos.
Give us a good one. Give us a good one.
Let's see. Kristy Sapp would like to know, what do your families say about being haunters? Do they support you, or do they think you're crazy?
Let's start with Don and Jim on this one.
Both families are very supportive.
Yeah, like our daughter is involved with it, and her significant other, he does a huge pirate display at his folks' house. My son, or our son, he will be more than happy to help. He likes the notoriety. He likes going to the bar and going, that's your house, and they buy him a drink and everything. But he'll help out on Halloween night. But other than that, but he'll help me tote and haul. So we'll rent the 20-foot U-Haul, and he'll tote and haul there and back and everything. But they enjoy it. But our daughter's big into cosplay, and her boyfriend is big into Halloween and
cosplay.
And they've gone to Tan's World.
Yeah, Tan's World.
SK and Kristy, how about you?
Go ahead, you try
A
first.
little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Wow, that's-
Elaborate.
all right. My parents, my mother adores it. She's always, telling people, "Oh, this is the house for Halloween." She's always calling the news agencies and right before Halloween, trying to get people to come out. And my father's not the type of person to enjoy anything like that, but he secretly loves it because he comes around every year and starts snapping pictures. I think it's adorable because he's really not that type of decoraty person at all.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I gotta throw this out there. I really.
That's what you really feel, bro. It's okay.
Share with us.
What we do here would not happen at all if it wasn't for my son Cody, because he helps out enormously every year. I could not put this together without him. And a friend of mine from work, Tammy, actually came and helped us put this together. Helped us paint it all. We were painting that last night, till 2:30 in the morning.
We brought her to the dark side.
It looks great.
Looks beautiful, man. Looks beautiful.
Thank you.
But yeah, without these people here to help us, it wouldn't happen. It really wouldn't. I could not do this all myself, and the fact that they've dedicated their time to help us out with that it means the world to me.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kristy, did you have anything to add, or just want to make sure I'm not leaving you out this time? I caught on.
I can tell you, my family always was like, "Oh, you and your Halloween," was always the thing. And for the longest time, my neighbors were just kind of like, "Eh." And they started getting into it. I was so surprised when my neighbors got involved. It was hilarious. And then
it wasn't going away.
No, I had to wonder when I moved out of that house the next year if the kids came up like, "Where's the haunted house?" And these poor people are living there going, "What are you talking about? What, a haunted house? I don't understand." Oh.
Michael and Laurie, how about you? Michael and Laurie? Hello? Can they hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Nope.
Yes, I can.
You
We
can't
can.
hear. Oh, Michael and Laurie they're.
I think they're.
Okay, well, just Bill
I
then.
think they lost it.
Oh, they're all flustered now.
Oh yeah, they're trying to figure it out. Okay. Well, my immediate family, my father, of course, he supports it. He's got me started in it. He's an actor in my haunt, actually, still. And my mother is a greeter at my haunt. And it sounds like Mike's back.
It does.
Am I?
Okay,
Okay,
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
keep
go ahead.
going.
Okay. So my mom is a greeter, and then I have two daughters, and my oldest daughter is an actor also, and my youngest daughter, she's only 7, so she helps out my mom as a greeter. So immediate family supports it, and they think it's great. Outside of that, they're just like, Halloween, it's March. What's wrong with you? So I don't think they'd really support it. They like the artistic ability of everything that I make. They can appreciate that, but I don't think anybody else gets it other than immediate family.
Gotcha. Michael and Laurie, welcome back.
Hey, I don't know what
Your
happened.
turn.
Yeah, family absolutely thinks we're crazy. We are. We love it. And they absolutely support us. My dad actually drives 90 miles down here to come see it every year. My brother has helped us out with it.
And his wife.
And his wife. Yeah, completely supported by the family. And his family, it's really not their thing, but they absolutely support us too.
My mom shares, and it's not their thing at all, although they come down and walk through in off times. But my mom shares our posts and all the time to her different groups, and they're down
awesome.
They're actually the one that sold us our parade car.
Yeah, they sold us our parade car even because they knew that we did. At one point I said, if you ever get rid of this, let us know. And they went to sell it, and she's like, wait. They wanted to know if we were going to sell it. So we use it for our parade car. She even shared the posting for Hunter's Hangout tonight to her people down in Missouri. So it's really awesome. They do, and of course our daughter.
Oh yeah,
our daughter is
amazing.
The other lead for the haunt, but. Just like they were saying too, it's the people around us that have become family because of the haunt. We've got one main couple that does so much, and all the kids that join us, and they've all become family. And of course, they support it because they're here every night doing it. So that rocks.
Big shout out to our entire cast and crew. Absolutely. They are massive and they are amazing.
Amanda, kids, yeah.
Couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be who we are today if it wasn't for them.
That's great. That's
great.
Super awesome. I think we're gonna go back to Jamie and do some more pictures now.
Okay, here we go.
Woo-hoo. And this should be Don and Jim.
Yeah. So that's the Witch Shack. So that's really an example of us working together. I built the shack. It's a scissors mech and the witch in the doorway. And then Dawn sculpted the witch and sewed the costume and did all that part. So it's a whole witch now scene that we do. It's got 3 or 4 witches
Four
there.
witches, yeah.
So you got the best of both worlds. You got you make the medic, she sculpts the head, makes the costumes. You guys suck ass, and that whole thing.
Never had it quite put that way, but
Damn it.
All right, here's another one.
Ooh, this one's great.
All right, so that's the other side of the house. That's our pumpkin scene. So we're very, if you will, traditional Halloween. And so that's our Pumpkin King. That's probably the biggest pneumatic prop we have. He goes from about 5 feet sitting down to, he raises up to about 12 feet. His arms move around and his head spins.
they flail, right?
It was, for me, once again, not being an engineer or having any background, it really was my Mount Everest for building.
Yeah, that's a really nice one. I mean, hopefully next year we'll be able to show video, I'm thinking. If Jamie ever figures it out.
Me?
It's the whole corn stalks and the pumpkin side, pumpkin themed side over there. That's another one where it's an example of us working together. That's Samara from the ring. So she's pneumatic, and that well is filled with water. And when triggered, the phone will ring. You hear 7 days, and she rises out of the water. And that's another one where Dawn sculpted the head and did all that part.
Look at him rubbing that shit in. Look at it. That's another one where Don sculpted. How do you keep how do you do all the pneumatics in the water? I always wondered that.
Well, they're airtight. So you got stainless steel cylinders, and the cylinders hopefully are airtight.
Oh,
okay. So you can submerge them, no problem.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and then the steel tubing, you just paint on the inside and the outside, and so what if it rusts? It's not ever going to rust through.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that one, the children or younger kids don't recognize it. It's young adults,
For millennials.
and older who recognize the ring.
Awesome.
Okay, here's one last one for you. For now.
Yeah, so that's the witch scene again, and then just on the left you see in the darkness another witch that's there. She rises. That's a 4-bar mechanism. She goes several feet up into the air, and if everything's working, smoke comes out of her broom as she's going.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
You have a lot of
Very
headstones
cool.
too. You have a lot of
We do.
headstones.
Yeah.
Right, and just remember, if you guys like what you see, everybody can go to their sites. All their links are down below in the YouTube feed and the Facebook one. You guys can go check out their channel to see all their haunts live.
I liked your Abbott and Costello headstones. I noticed that.
I like Helena handbasket.
In Abbott and Costello, we had there was the one plastic skull that everyone hacked, the Boris skull.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Talking Boris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we had hacked those with the Who's on the Slab knockoff on there of 2 morticians doing the Abbott Costello Who's on First, and it was Who's on the Slab. And we don't have the skulls anymore, but we keep the tombstones.
Nice.
Very nice. Jamie, do we have SK and Kristy's
Yeah.
pictures?
Here we go.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
So you want to tell us about this one?
That is an asshole on a ladder.
But
Wasn't gonna say nothing.
besides the obvious.
The punch there. This was our big project this past summer, and it kind of got held up a lot by my son graduated from the Air Force basic training, so we had to go down to Texas and see Dark Hour Haunted House and do all the things that Jose wants to do.
Stay on this picture for just a minute. I want to see what it looks like without snow.
Stop! She's looking at my ass. And you're all looking at my ass too. You can stop.
Dude, I just started looking at your ass because you said it. I was like,
Stop.
and I actually couldn't blow it up from this view here. So.
So yeah, this is me up on the ladder, actually airbrushing every single shingle to get that nice look for our witch house this year.
Wow. Look at all those pumpkins. Holy cow.
Oh,
we
gosh,
hit
every year.
the jackpot in pumpkins this year. I got some fantastic pumpkins. I think we paid like $40 for everything that we had.
Oh,
Probably
Wow.
like 60
Nice.
pumpkins.
Nice.
Holy cow.
Nice.
Yeah, we found a farmer that actually buys them by the he buys them by the pallet load, and he brings them to his house
Oh, look at that.
and sells them. Yeah, that one right next to the door. That was our prize pumpkin that we got from them.
Yeah.
For $2.
jeez.
Jesus, that's nice.
I know.
Wow.
I got to thank my sister for finding them. It's one of my sister's coworkers has a farm, and they ship in pumpkins to sell every year. And this is pretty much the last of their litter, except for the big tall one there next to the door, which was her display. And her husband's like, "Oh yeah, take that one too."
One thing I want to mention about the door is, yes, he did burn the wood to get that effect.
Wow.
Yeah, that torch thing works awesome on wood. I
Looks
really
really
like
good.
doing that.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Is
Is that
that
just a facade or is it a functional?
It's a facade.
That is a facade. The door is functional. You open that door, and the door to my shed is right behind it. So we were able to put a roof between the shed and the back of that, so I could protect like the fog machine and some of the outlet strip and stuff like that for the lighting, all up inside of it.
and I just noticed there's someone in the window.
I was just gonna mention that. I was like,
What is that?
That is our witch that I built. I don't know how many years ago.
Yeah.
I built her probably about 10 years ago.
And look at the stovepipe.
You remember that, Jose? You remember
yeah,
that? right?
I remember. I can't believe you got it like behind a window in a silhouette.
Yeah, yep. Of course, she didn't have her wig on or her hat on at that time, but
You should have had her out on the front porch.
pretty much trying to take pictures of my witch house, which is another story all in itself. The witch house seemed to be a big theme this year,
Yeah.
and I thought it was amazing. I was talking about it at Midwest. Oh, we're going to do a witch house this year to go along with my witch character, and all of a sudden, everybody's doing witch houses. I was like, I didn't tell anybody.
You should have done a video. You should have done a video of it.
How is it that everybody thinks along the same lines every year?
Because it's something new.
Without saying something.
And it looks good. They're like, wow, that looks really cool.
This was my swamp creeper. I just decided last minute I needed something different. And since we were doing a swamp witch theme this year, I was like, hey, what about, this creepy looking thing that's half vines and half skeleton coming up out of the swamp?
That looks cool.
That looks really cool.
Yeah, it came out a lot better than I had hoped. So.
Yeah, it does look really good. It's really big, too.
SK, Mike Bloomhuff would like to know, how close do the trick-or-treaters get to the facade?
They were actually, I was handing out candy on the front porch so they could walk right up to it.
Oh, nice.
Yep. I was, and that was the big thing. Or half the time, Kristy, Kristy was dressed up as a witch as well, and all she did was paint her pretty face green. So I got to stand at the bottom of the driveway as my nasty witch until all the kids go up and see the ugly one up at the top of the driveway.
Wow.
Which made a lot of people chuckle. A lot of parents got a kick out of that one. And this was my new idea this year, and I don't know if anybody's come up with this before. I can't really claim that it was my idea, but those pose and stay skeletons, I found that if you heat the joints, you can actually bend them to how you want, and you can actually pose them in some really interesting positions. You really can. I mean,
I'm gonna leave that alone.
I don't know how well you can see them, but here's one behind me.
That's not the same one that's in the picture, is it?
Oh, it is. Hey, look at that.
It is.
And there's another one behind her.
Yeah.
Very cool.
SK, they want you to do the voice. They want you to do the witch cackle.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, is this when we got the snow? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we got
if only we
snow.
had that little on the ground right now.
We got a little bit of snow right before Halloween. It was gone in an hour or two, but
yeah,
pissed me off because it was one less day I got to work out there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Tree.
That's really cool. All right, moving along. Do we have the photos for Michael and Laurie?
Ooh.
Yeah, why don't y'all ask a question while I
Oh, sorry.
load it up. I'm a little slow.
So we want a question for the panel. Is that what we want?
Yeah, that works. I think that sounds great.
Oh, there are so many good questions.
Give us a good one. Give us a good one.
Ryan Greger has a question for all. What is your least favorite prop, but you still keep in use?
We don't want no questions from Move on.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm joking.
In that case, we have the pictures ready.
I don't know what to say.
I'm joking.
All right. Okay, let's start with Don and Jim.
Yeah, there's a least favorite, but it's gone, and I cut it up, and people still ask me about it every frickin' year, just to annoy me. But the ones that are still left,
We like them all, I think. I can't think of any that we don't.
He's got one. I know he does.
yeah, I'm sure I do. I just can't. I put it out of my mind. But yeah, we had this stupid band prop, and all it was a wiper motor with some connected to some PVC, and there's 4 pieces of PVC dressed as ghouls, and they would just go back and forth, and there was a design flaw on it. It was miserable. I had to fix it every
It was the bane of his
day.
existence.
And so finally one year I'm tearing down, and I literally took the saw to it and cut it up.
Yep.
So I would not be wanting to put it up again next year. And this is like 5 or 6 years ago. And to this year, everyone at least once, it's down to just a few times per season now.
Right.
But where's the band?
Yeah.
You know,
everyone
I got the big pumpkin king that, rises up, reaches around, and scooches you in the rear. And no one notices that. Then the stupid wiper motor band I had one woman come up to me and tell me her husband passed away and it was her favorite prop.
Oh.
S.K. Kristy, how about you?
I gotta say it's that witch, that same witch that's sitting in the window. I can't stand her.
It must be a theme,
I'll
though.
take it.
because
I'll take it.
One year I spent all that time on my 3-axis skull, Vincent, and I was so proud of him. And I put him out in the cemetery. I wish I hadn't. And then the last minute, I made this witch stirring a cauldron, and she was a photo op. People were just drawn to her, and they had to take pictures with her. And I'm like, Vincent, look, he's reciting Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh,
No,
neat.
Yeah, that witch it's a pain in the ass. I mean, she stands up straight. She's got no legs, so I gotta I gotta have a dress or a robe that covers, because it's just a piece of plumbing pipe up from a base, and unfortunately, if you use the same skull to make all your props, are all going to look related. So she looks like she's related to Gravedigger. I used the Lindberghs on all those back then, and before they got pricey.
Yeah.
So they all look related. But yeah, she's just a pain. All it is her body is that hardware cloth, that really hard chicken wire stuff.
His favorite.
So she's always poking me, I'm trying to bring it up the stairs. She's a pain in my ass.
Trying to grab your ass, probably.
Her arms don't stay on.
Michael and Laurie, how about you?
We have this really, really cool one that I took 20 minutes to dig a hole for. Okay, so here's what I did. I took this pallet and I put it in the ground, and I put Christmas lights underneath it and some great stuff, and I stuck some hands in it, and it's and it actually, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Dude, see, yep. You're trying to make me be mean on the show.
here's the kicker. I get people go by, oh, dude, that's cool.
Yeah,
and
if we get everybody on Hunter's Hangout razzes everybody about that stupid palette thing, and yet it's one that people around here really like.
I really want to get rid of it.
Well, see, the thing is, it's not that it ain't cool and that people don't like it. It's the fact that they share it to everybody that does haunting stage. It's like, yes, we've seen that like 1,000 times. Thank you.
Well, and we kind of put it in because it's a matter of, we got it. You can stop now.
And last year, one of our actors actually, now I've had this in the props in the haunt since 2015. One of our actors who was there both years shared that to me, said, have you seen this?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's in the haunt already.
You're own actor. That's funny.
Bill, how about you?
It's just Bill.
Oh, sorry.
Keep it together now, Jackie. Come on.
I lost it there for a second.
There's a couple of them that I don't like, and they all come down to the same concept, is anything that I hardly spend any time on, where it's just a room filler. I spend a couple minutes on. That's the one that everybody notices, and they're like, that is so cool. Yeah. And just like everybody else is saying, it's like, I spent a week on this, airbrush and all this. What about that? No, this thing made out of 2x4s, coveralls on it, and a mask is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that's what it is. That's the one I'm thinking of. It's a 2x4 body with coveralls and a mask, and the mask is over a bucket. So it took like no time to put together, but that's the coolest one I have. Yeah, and I hate it. And his name is Luther, and I don't like Luther. They all have names. So.
Awesome. Let's get back to pictures, JB.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Clyde, build stuff.
Goodness.
Yeah,
that's stuff. This was all last year. The one on the left is putting in it hooking to our hog shed, which was a hog shed I converted into 6 scenes, and it had a really big dip coming out of it that was kind of a trip hazard. Some people who lived on the next mile over moved out of their house, and they had a handicap bridge, a wheelchair ramp that we turned into a bridge coming out of that. So that was them carrying that up. The 2x4 framing that you see going in, that's from the building that we put up last year. 20 by 28 foot windy hallway.
Maze, whatever.
Maze, drop panels, Freddy's popping out, arms through the wall, all the kind of fun stuff. And the below is one of our tunnels. When I was putting the PVC tunnel together, we have 3 35-foot long, 10 feet tall tunnels that are covered by tarp when they're done.
Actually, not truly tarp.
Yeah, agricultural tarp. Yeah.
Do you leave these things up year round, or do you take them down every year?
The frame for the tunnel stays up. The maze, we actually made a building, and again, we used the same agricultural tarp to do the roof on.
However, it's a non-permanent structure, honey. Just in case anybody from the city is listening, it is a
non-permanent structure. Temporary building.
There are no footings on it. The roof is a tarp. So,
but I discovered.
I was on my phone. I'm like, city council, fire.
Well, the guy who approved
permanent
it
structure.
Oh, there they are. That's our family. And that's not everybody, because that was our very last night, and some of them couldn't be there the last night. Yeah, without those people, we're nothing.
That is the people who. That is Sinister Sidney right there. Those people right there.
So how many actors do you have total?
And most nights we had anywhere between 35 and 45 people here.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you include the lot crew, the people selling the hot chocolate and taking care of the fire pit, all the behind the scenes people. Yeah, it varied, but anywhere between 35 and 45 people, and they are all volunteer.
Our first year, that was our big scare, because we had some people helping us out, and we were scared. What happens if we don't have enough people to handle it? And that first night, we had 47 people show up to work.
Yeah,
and like I said, it's all volunteers, so we love these people dearly. They put their heart into it. It's awesome.
How many people attended last year?
Last year, around 700.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our temporary clown tent. We're building a better one for this year.
This was the bane of my existence.
That was awful.
I wanted to do a circus tent, so I got this great idea. Get one of those wedding gazebos. It'll be easy to set up. I got the heavy duty one. I went through 6 of those by the end of the month. We finally figured they were very cheap, not cheap once you buy 6 of them. We did finally learn, I think a week from the end, that if you pull the covering off of it at the end of each night, it lasted a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And big shout out to the clown idiot Bob there. That's Bob. He's the very first prop that we bought together when we hadn't even thought about starting Sinister Sidney.
Yeah.
That was just the first Halloween thing we bought together.
Yeah.
Now, do you keep all of these same themes every year?
Well, we're only going on our 3rd year, so right now, yes.
This was an expansion from the first year.
Yeah, this was brand new this year.
Yeah. We try to change up a little something every year. But
and this year it's daylight, it looks hokey. Yes, it's semi hokey, but when we put the actors in it and the creepiness, and I've got
and the
creepy
music
circus music playing.
Why didn't you guys just build another tunnel for that like you did?
Yeah, we should have, but we didn't. This year we're actually again that agricultural tarp. It's very heavy duty. It holds up well. We use that for the tunnels, for the roof of the
We're putting up a big top
We're
this
going to
year.
use that for the big top that we're going to build this
That's one
And-
of our big projects this year is actual circus tent.
The big trick is that stuff is a haunter's dream. It's black on one side, white on the other side. It's reinforced webbing in the middle, and you can get it for free.
Free.
Huge, massive pieces of it. You
Hit up your grain co-op.
Yeah, you see the grain co-ops where they've got the big piles of grain on the ground. They cover one-time use for them. They throw it away.
This right here made us fall in love with Diablo.
Yes.
This is we have a sacrificial altar scene, and when we first received this goat head from a local butcher who was going to put it in their yard, and they found out about us, so they gave it to us. I posted a picture on the Hangout about it, and there was a lot of praise and a little bit of uproar. Because people, you're killing a goat for no, none of that. It's just, it was already, whatever. But anyway, we used it as our demon head, and he still sits up on the cross, decaying very nicely. He looks really cool now. So cool. Everybody thinks it's fake anyway, so it's good.
Yeah.
Little do they know.
All right, let's look at one more.
Okay, our doctor's office. Pretty simple and small confined area, hard to get a back shot, so getting a full picture of it in too much light, it doesn't look anywhere near as good as it does. Anyway,
no.
The geriatric chair, you see the two legs there. Shout out to Tony Mucci, was zombified. We got those from him. One of them was special made for us because he normally only did one side or the other. And I had a gentleman who was set to work for us who was a double amputee. And the whole idea was him sitting in the chair. We had two legs, and we could cut them off right in front of him.
Oh, cool.
And shake a leg at you. Unfortunately, that he ended up getting his daughter every weekend and wasn't able to work. But our actors still, they went with the whole leg thing, and they really used it, and it was rocking.
The legs look kind of sexy, man.
Well,
they're his daughter. He casted them from his daughter.
Yeah. So she got nice legs.
I knew it was from like a female descendant.
In the dark with a lot of blood shaking at you.
Just throwing it out there.
That's all right. That's all right.
Kathy, do you have a question for the panel? And then we'll get Bill's pictures.
Oh, yeah, we need Bill's pictures, right?
Sure, yes. Bob Cowell would like to know, if you could go back in time, what advice would you give your first-year haunter self?
Don and Jim, let's start with you.
Don't do it.
You stole my answer.
Use a template for putting the rebar in the bottom of your tombstones.
Really?
Because all of ours are all different. Everyone's unique, so when we're putting them in, we have to drive the rebar in individually, as opposed to 12 inches apart or using a template to just drive in the rebar. Standardize your tombstones.
Right.
Look at the look
SK and Kristy, how about you?
Don't buy store-bought.
Buy stock in pink foam.
Yes.
Good one.
Yeah, how much stuff went by that you just like totally discarded? You're like, that's trash. If you knew back then that you could use it, you'd probably have a whole garage full of junk.
Oh yeah. Good shit.
Well, like I said, we started out with Oriental Trading Company stuff.
Right.
That was cheap plastic. In Arizona, it would just disintegrate during the summer.
Oh God, right.
Michael and Laurie?
Buy less, salvage more.
Yeah.
We get hurt necks from our heads twisting as we drive through rural Iowa. What are they gonna do? Oh, there's a pile of stuff. Salvage more. Salvage more, because there's just so much that can be done. And when we first got into it, before we got into Haunter's Hangout and saw all the cool stuff that could be made out of all the thrown away junk. We were we're going to need some of this. We buy this, we buy that, we buy the other thing. And now we're starting to build up some of that good salvage stuff to be able to build some really nice, creepy looking, workable, awesome stuff.
Very cool.
Just Bill, how about you? And then we're going to move into just your pictures.
My first year, I said I was approached. I only had about 2 months, and I went from a yard haunt or a yard display, not an actual haunt, a yard display to a 4,000 square foot haunt.
Great day.
My God.
So, my first year, I would have made wall panels. I basically built my whole haunt out of pallets, which still looked good, but it was a pain in the ass. And, very heavy and tons of them. And, I'm still building wall panels to this day because I never can have enough. I'm trying to make another 50 again this year. But I would not go back and say, hey, just give it another year and say no and then do it next year, because I would never go back on it, because this has been a great opportunity. I'd be lost without it.
Yeah, no doubt.
We would love for somebody to do that with us.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess actually we're going to go to Jim's pick. Sorry, Just Bill.
Oh, shoot. We almost skipped right over him with
Yeah, see, that's
it's terrible.
I tried. So whose are we looking at actually here?
That's actually just Bill's.
Just Bill's. Just Bill's side.
That's
Bill
just
or
Bill.
just Bill?
Just Bill.
That's where I wanted to go.
That's one of my wall panels. So there's a process here. I'm pointing like you can see it. Over here in my dining room, I set up my wall panels and I paint them, and then I move them to garage number 1. And garage number 1, I frame them up, and then I move them into temporary storage, garage number 2. And then from there, they go into permanent storage, which is a semi-trailer. So I bought a semi-trailer a couple years ago, and that's where all my wall panels go. So this is just an example of the kind of wall panels that I do on ones that are not just room fillers, because I am an artist and I like to be strange with stuff. And this one gets a lot of people looking at it. So obviously it's like a Bozo the Clown on acid or something.
Pretty cool. Yeah, and that's why it's just Bill. Because he can labor room.
Just do anything.
He's like, I'm painting in the kitchen. Who cares? I don't know.
Yep, nobody cares. Well, my dog don't give a shit. So, yep. That actually is an organ of my grandmother's. When she passed, my dad asked me if I wanted it, and he said it doesn't work. I said, I don't give a crap if it works or not. And of course, the pipes and all that wasn't on there. That's just PVC pipe. So I made a little guy playing the organ. I just thought he was cool. He was right inside my haunt last year, right inside the entrance. This is garage number 2, by the way. This is temporary storage. So there's some wall panels there in the background before they went over to the trailer. So
Garage.
Gotcha.
This is my trailer. This is the non-advertising side of my semi-trailer, but I posted this picture because, like you guys had said before, like Mike had said, your haunt is nothing without your actors. You're so thankful for your actors. And this was me tipping my hat to my actors, ones that have been with me for a couple years, and some family members. So I added their names to my trailer in the form of...
That's really cool.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah. So hopefully this year I can add a lot more tombstones. So there's still plenty of room for more to be added, and I can add more on top. But that build one there in the middle, I can get rid of that guy.
Just Bill. It's just Bill.
Yeah, I got to change it to just Bill. Yeah.
Just Bill.
I had chose this one for a reason. A lot of my wall panels, I take junk and add it to the wall panels to give it 3 dimensions. But they are a bitch to try to store because they don't stack good, they break. And this is just a good example of being able to paint something that looks 3-dimensional. So I mean, that's just airbrushing and latex paint. And so that's why I chose this picture, just to make it look like it, because it kind of looks like it pops out. And all I did was make it up. I just added stuff and kept drawing, and I just really like that one, which probably nobody likes.
I do.
Oh, it's cool.
It's awesome.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is one of the ones where when you say, what is your least favorite thing? And okay, so I have this hallway of all these black light panels, and I painted all of these a couple years ago. I've got a dozen of them, I think, right now.
I'll take them, bro. I'll take it. I know you're probably tired of that shit.
Okay, I'll give you the one right there in the middle. That stupid skull one. I hate it. I hate that dripping skull one. I think it looks retarded, and I'm giving it to Diablo.
Dude, he already gave it to me, so you guys can.
So yeah, it's got its name on it.
No fair, no fair.
But everybody loves that one. I can't stand it.
Out of the three, that's my favorite. I think that's.
See, I don't get it. I don't understand. See that one took me like 10 minutes to do because I just slopped some paint on there and let it run. Where these other ones, took me an hour because I sketched them all out and everything. But that one's everybody's favorite.
And that's why you like those more, is because you put more thought into those.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's why I don't give a crap about that one. And
don't think
Diablo's getting it.
I want it. Mine. It's already mine. It's mine.
Prime of every haunter. We're too hard on ourselves.
Yeah, I am.
He said hard on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Just Bill. Your pictures were awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move along to photos from Don and Jim.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jamie. I'm totally not putting you on the spot at all.
No, I'm trying to remember where we left off. Okay, I got it. Okay, here. I don't think we've seen this one.
Nope.
That's you. Oh, there it is.
Tell everybody about me while we're looking at it.
Dude, this is like an episode of Three Stooges or something.
This is one that was new for this year. It's a grave popper. So pneumatic. He lays flat. He's less than a foot tall when closed, and then it pops up and it looks like a grave from the outside. It's just moss colored, covered mound of what looks like dirt.
Gotcha.
Well, what is
That's
it?
the one from the
really?
intro video, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
That's the one from the intro video that they did.
Yes.
Yes. Cool.
You said it looks like dirt. What is it really?
Well, I would never design it like this again, but it's chicken wire over a steel frame with rolls and rolls of plastic tarping melted onto it.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Ooh.
No, this is a good
Oh,
one.
nice.
That's cool.
That's Jamie's house. Oh, right.
So Chicago has like 1 or 2 good fog nights a year.
Oh, wow.
This was one good night, so that's just just this. Well, actually, this last year we had incredible weather this year.
Yeah.
Incredibly good weather this year, which is unusual. And there was nights I had to turn the foggers way down just so the streets didn't get fogged over. But just between the LED and the lighting and the fog, it had a pretty cool effect. A lot of corn stalks in the display.
That reminds me, we have a firehouse down the street from us, and we always have to let them know in advance that we're going to be setting off the fog machines. Otherwise, they think the house is on fire.
Right. Good idea.
I like this one.
Yeah, this is just another one. It was another good night for fog, or it might have been the same good night. This is the front of the house. You see the Grim Reaper there. That's tied into the coffin, so the Grim Reaper rises up. It's a 4-bar mechanism. He goes, 10, 12 feet into the air, and the coffin lid bangs, and we've got the clip from Monty Python going, I'm not dead yet.
Let me out. I'm not dead yet.
It's only a scratch.
And bats, lots of bats. People love bats. came across a deal in bats, and I bought, I don't know, several dozen of them, and they creep people out.
But they love them.
Right.
These big rubber bats. That's all they are.
All right.
So you got a Skelerector coming out of a crypt there. That one went by this year. That was one that started to become problematic, so the crypt went away. I'll keep the Skelerector and repurpose it for something. And then there's a sliding crypt in the back with the light coming out of it and a fog machine on the inside.
That's very cool.
And then, like I said, it's an unusual lot. It's like 140 feet in the front, very shallow. So we have all side yard, not backyard. No real backyard. And that's just a shot across the front. 2 cemetery columns, tall cemetery columns on either side of the drive. Both are pneumatic. That one is a drop panel. And then the one on the other side of the drive, the side pops out. And then we've just got our hours there when the props operate. Lighting's on all night, which is another pain because it's two sets of electricity. So I don't turn on anything except the valve on the compressor to start it up. Everything else is on timers. So I have one run of electricity for all the lighting, and then another one for all the pneumatics and sound, because those turn off early, and then the lights stay on all night. And then there's just on our column is just about us and accepting donations.
You said that's a drop panel, so you have somebody in there that can, or
No.
is that a pneumatics drop panel?
No, it's pneumatic drop
Oh,
panel,
okay.
and it's all sensors. We use sensors.
So while they're reading it, they get a scare too.
Nice.
That's great.
So yeah, just another. You know, we did the facade a couple years ago. We did the 2-story facade. We did 2 years ago, and then I guess it was 3 years ago. 2 years ago, we added the rest of the house on it. So, you know, we tell people that we heard that brick homes have more value, so we went with that.
That's the prop you're talking about. That was so traumatic when you first made it, and no one appreciated.
Oh yeah, there's the obelisk that opens up and spits that no one appreciates. How much?
Oh, that's awesome.
How much engineering went in there? But yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys go to all their channels and check them out. They're all posted on the link.
For sure.
Then you get to watch them, watch the videos live. They got some really cool stuff.
Is that a Cadillac or a limo?
It's a hearse.
Oh wow! I've never seen a hearse open on the side like that.
What year is it?
It's not ours. I couldn't tell you that.
Oh.
We have a number of friends who have hearses, and throughout the season they'll stop by sporadically and
display their hearses.
Just open it up on for the evening and
it just enhances the whole experience for people who are visiting our house.
and we get the benefit of having hearses in the display without having to maintain them.
Right.
There you go.
Smart idea.
Mary Veronica would like to know what kind of sensors you use.
Well, I can tell you I don't use PIRs because I hate those with a passion, and if I had to use them, I would no longer be doing pneumatics. They would be the death of me.
Really?
But I use make beam sensors, so they don't need reflectors. They go out about 10 feet, and when you walk through them, they reflect the light back and they trigger them. Much more accurate than PIRs. I tried everything in the world with PIRs. You name it, I've tried it, and they just would fire way too often.
They didn't work for me either. That didn't work for me either.
This is a cool picture. What's this?
So this is the other side of the house again. That's the Pumpkin King rising up. Once again, we have smaller columns. They're either they're all pneumatic. They either pop up or drop panel. And of course, we have the obligatory horse just like everyone else. The corn stalks there, they open up, and a very large, one of the Costco spiders from several years ago comes up out of the corn stalks. So the corn stalks shake a few times, and then they open up, and the spider comes on up and gets right in the people's face.
Nice.
It's cool. That's a really cool picture because even though it's light outside, your lights really still show.
I know that's
like
good. That's good
really
lighting.
impressive.
Right there.
Yes, it is. All
Yeah,
right,
it's
that.
taken a lot of years working on the LED lighting to get it. It's about to where we like it now.
Okay, Kathy, do you have any questions?
Yes. Oh, yes. There was a few questions as to how everybody got their haunt names.
Oh.
I thought that was a good question.
That is a good question.
That is a good question. Let's start with Don and Jim.
Well, it's a stretch. We live on Canyon Trail. So it became Canyon Trail Cemetery.
SK and Kristy.
Well, I don't know. I seem to remember probably about right around the time I wanted to start the website. I was looking for a name that just wasn't in use out there, and there was so many, really good haunt names out there at that point, and I came across. I was like the Haunting Grounds, and I started thinking about it, and I started looking it up, and I found nothing but a video game. And it wasn't until after, I bought the web domain and did all the logo work and all this other shit and find out that there was already a Haunting Grounds that had closed down. They did their last year a year before I started.
Oh, perfect.
So
right.
I kind of felt bad about that because I didn't steal their name, but after that I kind of felt like, oh, it's not original anymore. But I stuck with it because I already paid for the domain and all that other stuff.
Right.
Made this beautiful logo.
Right. Kristy?
Michael, Laurie, how about you?
Oh, no,
sorry.
wait.
Oh, geez, I'm moving too fast.
No, Noble Manor was just my last name. The end.
Again, kind of like Canyon Trail. She was stuck with it. It was there. It was
stuck with it.
It was opportunity knocks.
Right.
Well, it wouldn't sound that great as 71st Avenue Haunt.
It sounds a hell of a lot better.
Go ahead, argue. Go ahead.
Michael and Laurie.
Again, another stretch. We live in Sidney, Iowa. I like alliteration. Sinister Sidney sounded good. I think we were actually watching Sinister. It was just recently on TV at the time, and we're like, ooh, Sinister Sidney. Ooh, yeah, I kind of like that. And what the hell? And actually, for our first icon picture or whatever, I used the Bagul mask, which I've got right up over there. That was one of our first ones we got, just because we were using Sinister, so we tried to capitalize on it a little bit. But we've moved away from that, obviously. But yeah, it's just alliteration, and we live in Sidney with an I, not a Y.
Just Bill.
Just Bill.
What the hell's my name again? Oh, okay. Mindtrap. A friend of mine actually kind of came up with the name many years ago, and it kind of stuck, and then I just attached a storyline to it. I just always liked the name, how it goes together. And my storyline, just real quick, is something along the lines of a psychologist who helps people conquer their fears by facing their fears, and in turn, when they have to face their fears, they end up becoming worse, and then they're trapped within their own mind. So that's where the name Mindtrap kind of ties
some thought into it.
Yeah, and my haunt's really based off of that. It's got a lot of dead ends and misdirections and doors that lead to nowhere and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different than your normal haunt. So
very cool.
And just like everything else, Bill is the odd man out.
Just Bill.
Just Bill.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Bill is the odd man out.
Bill has found out a lot that I am definitely in the wrong group.
Hey,
No.
hey, but I tell you what, that nigga can paint in the kitchen. I don't
Oh,
care.
yeah.
You're all right, man. You're all right. You're all right, Just Bill.
Diablo doesn't hate me yet.
No.
Oh,
He
he
painted-
liked it.
He painted this right there.
In our dining room.
Yes.
Oh, see, I couldn't get away with that.
And remember the Wonder? Well, no, was it the Wonder Twins? Yeah, the Wonder Twins. I monster mudded those in the living room back in
Yeah,
Arizona.
but that's when you lived alone.
Yes.
All right.
Ah, see, there you go.
That's why I got great
Wait a
stuff
minute.
stuck.
We're going to move along to more pictures now.
Okay, here we go.
Just like that. Tell us about it.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Beautiful.
You guys
That-
are up.
I did not make that beloved tombstone.
No, we got that from Pam Ellen.
Pam Ellen came and visited us, and she brought us a few tombstones that she was unable to store anymore. So we made sure that they made them out into our haunt.
Yep.
And the mausoleum facade is in the background. That makes it out every year, no matter what, because it seems to draw a lot of attention. And it's freaking snowing.
I was trying to figure out where that was.
That's in the front yard.
Yeah.
We are not blessed. Unfortunately, we are not blessed with a very haunt-friendly property. My front yard is very short, very shallow, and very narrow. So I don't get the luxury of a huge, long haunt. So I kind of got to make do with a big driveway. But and this is just that from another angle. Unfortunately, I didn't get a whole lot of pictures this year. I spent too much time battling weather.
Looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, this is really pretty.
And that right there is my prized possession. That is my Death's Head tombstone that took me I don't know how many years to carve.
Well,
And that's
somebody
the same
was fired.
skeleton
What?
that was sitting in your witch thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the same skeleton.
And of course, everybody pays attention to the sides where it looks like a pair of boobies.
It's not moving.
I didn't even notice until you said that.
Well, I was just going to say, I didn't.
They are not boobs.
Now I see it.
Olives.
Yeah.
They're
Witch
olives.
boobs.
They're what?
They're olives.
Witch boobs.
Owls.
Oh.
Olives. Olives. I was like, owls?
Don't ask,
I don't see
don't ask
that.
me why they put olives in the sides of these tombstones, but it's a common feature.
And now that's all I see.
But
Yep.
The eyeballs.
That
The
whole thing
eyeballs
was-
with that weird
that
smiley
whole
face at
stone
the
was
bottom.
hand carved
Yeah.
with an X-Acto knife.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I like this one.
Oh, yes.
Yes, this is where we are blessed. I have a driveway that I can park 10 cars in.
Ooh, cool.
Nice.
It doesn't make it very easy to put tombstones up, but we make do where we can.
Yeah.
But this was our whole driveway scene from you kind of walk through the cemetery and get into the witches, the swamp witches shack beyond the cemetery. That was the idea this year.
That looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Yes.
And my spirit trees, one of which blew over and shattered.
Oh, no.
Ah, damn spirit tree.
Yeah, they are very breakable. And the swamp witch
Wow.
actually made it out.
It's gotta be sinister.
Nope. Not us.
The swamp witch actually came out to visit us this year, and she stayed for the haunt. Or the
Oh,
nasty
very-
witch. I'm sorry, the nasty witch.
Nasty
She's gonna
witch.
kick my ass.
The
if
na-
I
the
thought I
nasty-
could.
The nasty witch.
Nasty witch.
She grabbed my ass last year. And
I'm pretty sure she's going to
cussed me
Midwest
out.
this year.
She grabbed my ass, and cussed me out.
She forced a motorboat on Becker.
Yeah.
It sounds about like her. She's not a very pleasant person, I've heard.
Yeah.
Jose, are you bragging or are you complaining? I'm not sure.
You know why? Because I got the feeling where I would, should I be happy or not? Because she like grabbed my ass and then cussed me out. So I was like, was she wanting to get nasty with me? Or, I wasn't sure. You know, I had mixed feelings.
She is a nasty witch. She's a
Right.
nasty witch.
Right.
And again,
I like the
nasty
blue hair.
witch. Yeah, the blue hair was I don't know. She went someplace and got her hair done this year because it was kind of gray at Midwest. But
I kind of like it blue.
Yeah, I like the blue.
I
It's
do
trendy.
too. She's much more attractive.
Well,
I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe not. Yeah, that's an ugly bitch.
I felt like she was looking right at me.
The envelope.
My ass.
That's a cool picture.
Yeah.
This is another example of our creative poses for our posing stains. I think I did 4 of them this year, and they actually they sit in my living room because I have no place to store them. So we actually have them in our living room.
That one's the one behind me.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Look at that. That's the one that's sitting over here. I have another one that kind of looks down at his crotch.
Who doesn't?
Where does it go?
And the Wanderer. That's the one we call the Wanderer. He's looking up at something. We're not sure what he's looking at.
The snake
What
in
is
the
that
tree.
up in the tree? Is that a snake? I was
It
gonna
looks
ask.
like a giant caterpillar.
It's a snake.
That's a target skeleton snake.
Ah,
One
okay.
of those. Okay.
I couldn't help it. You see a skeleton snake at Target, you gotta buy it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Corrine wants it.
Oh, I like this one.
Yeah, that
And
one.
yeah, that's another good shot of the swamp creeper. And our witch house, which, by the way, you can actually see in this one that the smokestack actually puts out fog.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Oh, and that's the last one for you guys.
Oh, good. Thank God. I don't think anybody wants to listen to me babble any longer.
Okay, Kathy, do you have another question?
Oh, yes. Let's see. Which one am I going to pick?
Pick a good one.
That one.
Yeah.
All right. This is from Maximus Christian Bryant. What is something you would like to have done with your haunt that you haven't gotten to yet?
Oh, that's another
All
good
the props in my
question.
basement.
I want to start diving
Fires.
back into the animatronics.
Yeah.
I've been messing with those, and one of these days, Jose.
Yeah, you know what?
I know.
I was gonna say something, but I was biting my tongue. I'm like, sure.
Yeah, I know. I've got to redesign the eye mechanism for her, and then I got to put it back together. But luckily, I've got the tools now to get a little bit more intricate.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So maybe in 30 some odd years, I'll get her done.
Sinister?
Well, my wife thinks I'm going to say the 20-foot dragon, but actually, I've got I like dragons. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. We're still a fairly fresh haunt, so we have lots of room to grow. So we have all kinds of ideas of both. We've got some animatronics. I want to get into pneumatics eventually, of course, like just because of the cool things that you can do with them. Of course, our big top that hopefully we'll have done this year. Next year, we're actually expanding. We're going to revert. Once they get to the end, we're reversing them back down the other side. So we'll hopefully double to about half a mile long.
Wow.
So that will, that's one of the big things. We're new. This will be our 3rd year. So we got lots of room to grow. We got lots of plans. Gonna have a blast.
Yeah.
Just Bill?
I'm the same as they are with the animatronics. I don't have any animatronics in my haunt. Last year was the first year that I even added an air cannon, and I destroyed a compressor on that.
Oops.
So I burned up my compressor, so I had to have a stand-in come in for a new compressor. So, but I would love to go down that way of learning animatronics. I'm still trying to teach myself that. So
It's not the pneumatics fault, just Bill. Just so you know.
Just Bill.
So it's my fault that the compressor broke?
It's just
Yes.
broken.
Yeah, definitely.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to talk to myself about that.
Figure that one out.
Don and Jim, did you guys get a chance to answer this one?
There's a whole long list of stuff that we want to do.
That big,
I mean,
that thing on top of the house.
yeah, there's a couple designs for big animatronics on top of the house that I have in my mind. It's just time. to do it. But yeah, just there's tons of stuff that we had ideas about and we want to do. It's just, like with everything, it's time.
Where are we gonna put it?
All right.
And where we're going to put it and where we're going to store it.
Right, no shit.
Now we have Michael and Laurie's pictures.
Oh,
Here we go.
Cool.
Tell me about it.
Top corner is, well, actually, this is kind of the entrance to our haunt currently. But I love that top corner, top left picture with one of our actors, Birdie, who's 7 foot tall.
I was like, that's a short door or big ass?
No, that's a big ass.
7 foot tall.
And so I love that picture, and he is the first, besides the queue line people, he's the first actor that you see in there. He rocks that hillbilly boy. He's awesome. Sitting out across from Birdie is the one down at the bottom, and then some of our other actors. Who is that? Simone and
that's Nova.
And Seti, Nova, and Cheyenne. Her character. She named her character this year. In front of our banner. Thank you, Mr. Brent. Those are awesome vinyl banners. And just kind of the layout of when they're coming in the haunt. I do plan on, again, probably not this year, but next year, I want to turn it into more of a cemetery gate style looking, with the arch and what have you. We put this facade up last year in, I don't know, 20 minutes. It was like, shoot, I need a background.
The lettering,
the lettering.
our daughter painstakingly did with a foam cutter, and yeah, she did an amazing job on those.
She did.
Yeah, real nice
great.
job. Real nice
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, they're like, what, 3 inches
They're
thick?
2 inches thick.
2 inches thick.
Wow.
Wow.
So there's some shading on them. And that bottom one is, once you come in, and we have the queue line inside that main entrance that you see, that other door is what Nova's in front of before. That's the end of the queue line, and where we actually let them in group at a time. That's the entrance that you see, and beyond there it falls the hillbilly shack and the witch area and things like that. Yes, we have a witch area too.
I like this.
That's the grave digger. He's the host of the haunt. I try and be out front greeting people and talking to them as they come out the backside, and every once in a while I run through. I do have the haunt set up so that I can come up in front of them 8 times throughout the haunt. I can reappear right in front of them without them knowing that I've gone around. So he's kind of a creeper.
We've got a lot of
He's a creeper.
That is Diablo's creeper right there.
No, there's the granny nanny. Yeah, just had a whole bunch of these babies, didn't know what to do with them, and we just decided to set up a dead baby daycare.
Yeah, baby. That's Amanda. Our granny right there is Amanda, who is one of our part of our other main couple, Amanda and Joe, that help everything. She's our crafty person. She was our original crafty person. We have a couple more now. And Joe's our carpenter.
Well, and she got into the whole clown thing last year, and she is now Periwinkle.
Yeah, she's now Periwinkle.
Oh yeah, and that's what happens with the hallway when you give a bunch of teenage girls that are sick and twisted like us a bunch of paint and tell them what you do want, what you don't want, and say go.
That is awesome.
That's really cool.
I see Stuart's work down there.
Yeah,
Stuart's work down there. We got 4 panels from him and a morph suit, also done by Stuart.
Oh wow!
I think that's Jenna in there that night doing that one, and that's one of our that hallway that you're looking at. That is inside the hog house that I then converted, turning the pens into scenes, and I put a wall down the side. There's a hole in there. I've got the Astro Fear effects, undead portraits playing in that, and then there are scenes to the side. That one being the first with stuff. That's Sinister Sidney. That's our property.
Yeah.
Damn,
what we use.
We got room to do everything.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we use when we come in down at the entrance at that upper right where you see it says Sinister Sidney, and they go to the left, and then they go all the way down to the back of the property and shoot across and come out at the bottom right. And like I said, next year we're going to loop them back down, still inside the trees, and take it so it's a giant loop and take them back. And then
Wow.
the little bit to the left is where we actually get to live and keep people out of.
Yeah. and that big shed that's all by itself
They
there.
can't see where you're pointing.
Yeah, well, the big shed that's all by itself that you guys hear, that is actually where most of our crap is stored.
Yeah, that's our storage shed.
Okay, what are
This
we
is-
looking at here?
That's well, the front of the building that we put up. Unfortunately, because of the issues that we had with weather, I didn't get a chance to facade it. So I just did some lighting on it this year. It's going to get facaded or an actual front to it this year. With you come down the way into a playground. Several younger actors in there skipping rope and just being all creepy as hell. Down bottom left is our little skeleton area. There's the horse.
One of the three.
Yeah, that's not the horse that's behind us here, but that's we all know about that. And then our unhappy birthday scene with if you can see it behind the people, there's a cake in there that Amanda made that was awesome. She made out of monster mud.
No, she used straight drywall.
Oh, did she use straight drywall?
And food coloring.
Yeah, she did a great job. And of course the webcaster for the webs all over. And the first year we had a live actor in there, and the whole scene was 16-year-old's birthday. Nobody shows up. She's there and goes crazy, And so as people would come through, and when they entered the hog house, we give them a little present and say, "Hey, can you take this to the guy on the other end?" And that was the cue of who she would go off on. "Ooh, a present for me!" And
oh, nice.
And the funny thing is, she's an editor for one of the local newspapers. Well, a couple of the local newspapers that did a lot of really nice articles.
You
for
want
us.
publicity? Get a reporter to work in your haunt.
Yeah.
That works. Tess, we love you. Thank you very much. Field of Screams. Yeah, absolutely. Field of Screams, top left. One of our tunnels with our laser lights. Now that one on the top right. This next year we're taking that's where the dragon will be, not the 20-foot one, but as you come into it, and there's fog and the laser lights, and as you get to the end, the dragon will be coming out at you. We have a whole big dragon from Nightmare Collection that unfortunately we couldn't get any actor to wear for more than 10 minutes because it was really cumbersome. So we're going to hang it. Scarecrow on a gallow. And
he was actually blocking one of our shortcut paths during the build that we couldn't block off any other way.
And in the middle of our haunt, we do a bonfire.
Nice.
And sell hot chocolate, so you can take a little bit of a break as you're coming by the cemetery.
You think you're about done? Yeah, you're only halfway through.
You're only halfway through, right? So.
Oh, that's cool. They can sit back and relax for a second.
Yeah, they can relax a little bit, and we can resegregate them back if they get bunched up. That way too, we can control them moving to the last time. This was our very first build. Our first year was my hillbilly shack. And yes, it was initially pallets, and then my wonderful carpenter came in and put a real roof on it and sided it. And
it's just a 3-sided shed.
It's a 3-sided shed. If we move our horses on the property, we can use it as a windbreak too.
Well, and we run 3 generators to run the haunt because we are covering a huge distance. The inside of that is where one of the generators sits that runs the bottom half of the haunt. And it helps mask the noise really well.
Things hanging in trees. My very first corpse skeleton. I kind of liked the way that it came out, but I didn't like the face, so I hung it up. It's about 15 feet above you as you're coming through there. Giblet with skeleton and another angle of the shack, which has more skulls now.
Which we actually kind of nicknamed the Tappin' Shack because it was Joe Tappin that did it for it. Absolutely made it come together.
So it's the Tappin' Shack, baby.
Right. Nice.
Great pictures, guys. Let's see. Let's move along to Bill and see what he's got going
Just
on.
Bill.
Oh, sorry. Just Bill. I keep forgetting.
Just Bill.
Just Bill.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Oh, wait. Now.
Just
now
me.
here we go. Okay, tell us about this.
Okay. This was part of my waiting room last year. I kind of got the idea, Haunted Mansion sort of a deal, where they have the Mickey Mouses kind of hidden in the wallpaper. So then I created a Mindtrap little logo, MT, that I just kind of recreated all over the place. So this would be the first room that they walk into, and there is no door. And they had to watch the rules and regulation video, and then one of the walls would open up from the outside, which was just me on a string pulley opening it up. So that's a waiting room concept, and I really like that idea.
Cool.
This is a very small portion of it from up above. This was just one corner and I was trying to get a good picture of that clown. That was my whiteout room. So you go through the clown face into the whiteout room, which was full of fog, and a lightning machine was in there. That was the only thing that you could see in there. And there was an actor in there and some shock panels because I'm an ass. This is just my main entrance. Those are my foam pillars. Those were the ones that were in my yard display. So that's kind of what got me noticed, was having those. So they're very old. I've had them for, I don't know, 15 years or so. So I really like those. They keep changing a little bit here and there, but I need to do something to them. But I think they still look all right.
We want your gargoyle.
Oh, great.
Oh yeah, that gargoyle was all made out of foam.
Oh,
I have
wow.
a thing with foam. I'm pretty good at carving foam.
Yes, that is.
Yeah, like that sign right there. That's all foam too.
Let me do the weatherman thing. Oh, I'll do it. And the Hunters for Life one.
This is inside the paintball facility. Off to the right, I am teamed up with Zombie Paintball. So off to the right, where you can't see, is about 18,000 square feet of Zombie Paintball. That's all indoors. And then this part is the entrance to my haunt, which is like 4,000. And so everybody who goes to Zombie Paintball, who's stupid enough not to come into my haunt, would have to walk by all this. This is what they would see.
Right.
So I set up a couple of photo opportunities out here. These are these big creature guys here. And then that's my little facade back there is my swamp little cabin.
That's neat.
I love this one.
Yeah, that was a cool picture. This is the entrance. Once you go through the pillars, you walk through across this bridge into like a cemetery area. This is part of the queue line, and you walk through to where there's this deer head on the wall and stuff, and that's where everybody waits. And there's several other doors off to the side where I can get in and mess with people in the queue line. So there's an actor door, and then there's a Just Bill door that I can mess with everybody. Oh, and all this stuff, by the way, you're not going to believe this. I know you're going to think I'm a total liar, but I set up my whole haunt in a week.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
Wow, you fucking liar.
No,
I'm sorry. I shouldn't even cuss, but it just came out.
Just let it out, Diablo.
Damn it.
Yeah, I do it all in a week. My father and I are the only ones. And then my mom and my girlfriend come along, and they do all the detailing of stuff. But my father and I build it all until I throw a drill through the wall, and then we stop. This was for a parade last year. This is on casters. You can't see the casters, but this does roll. And I had an actor inside of it, and so it's a meat grinder. And it actually had a Lazy Susan on the other side, and it was a really old Lazy Susan where the ball bearings were really kind of bad, and it made this noise. I don't know if that was a good enough description, but hopefully you can figure it out. But so I would sit there and crank her down into that. And this was during a Labor Day parade, so we got a lot of really strange looks. she would, she could control that thing, so she'd go after people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's just an example of one of my tombstones that I make. I am actually a painter. I'm on new construction job sites all the time, so I find all these pieces of 2-inch thick pieces of foam.
Oh, nice.
That they throw away after they do the foundation, and then all the pieces of trim that are left over. So this cost me $0.00. So I like to kind of show off what I can come up with after not buying anything.
Does the name have meaning?
That's actually my cousin. I made that. I did a contest a couple years ago, and my cousin won the contest, and I did a couple of tombstone giveaways, and that was one of the ones I gave away. I'm actually teaching a class here in a couple weeks to people on how I do tombstones.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I love that.
Love it.
Okay, now I'm glad you like that one, because that's my favorite of all the black light panels.
I love that.
And that one took me a while to do. And I actually live in
I thought you was actually going to say, I'm glad you like that because I'm sending it to you. I thought
you got this stupid drippy skull crap.
I'll take drippy. Not like that.
But so I live in an apartment complex. So this is garage number 1. This is the laboratory where I build the wall panels before I move them into number 2. But everybody who walks by just looks and like, what in the hell is going on? And the people, I gotta try to be PC about this. The people that live around here don't understand what Halloween is. They're from another country, and they don't know what a haunted house is. They don't know what Halloween is. So
they'll find out. Nice. We're finding out now.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
That's my entrance. Every person who goes in gets a picture underneath this deer. I was on a job site one day, and I'm looking in a dumpster like I do 5 times a day. And somebody's wife must have been pissed off because they threw 2 deer heads in the dumpster. Who does that?
Oh,
man. Yeah.
So you can't really tell, but I zombified him, and everybody gets their picture underneath this deer, and then we post it on Facebook to my Facebook page, and then everybody can go to the Facebook page to see their pictures before they go in. So every single person who goes through gets that. But this year, my mom and my girlfriend are talking me into making this thing spit.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to have a water mister on it, and they're going to be in control of it. Once again, making stuff out of not buying anything. Like I said, I'm a painter, so the main wheel here, that's just 5-gallon buckets that are fastened together, and then the gears on this are just the edge strippings of EVA foam, the floor mat stuff. It's the tab that you tear off. So I didn't know what to do with all those stupid tabs that you tear off, and they kind of look like teeth on a grinder. And so I made this grinder, and then I put some great stuff on there and some dried up pieces of silicone and polyurethane, and just threw it on there, and then plastic bag corpsing and stuff, and it turned out pretty cool.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Very cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Those pictures are great.
Thanks.
Kathy, we have time for one more question, then we have to wrap things up.
All right, I've got a question. Bruce Janser would like to know, what's your most memorable haunt moment?
So with Donna and Jim.
That's a good one.
Some of the kids, their reactions, the dot room. You do it.
It usually involves. Well, Dawn's happiest when little kids cry. So any of the times that little kids have cried or anything, I think one that sticks out is there's a couple little kids that come every night, and they brought a bunch of friends and everything, and the one little girl got scared, and the little boy was he had his flashlight, and he was going to save her, and
he was saying, I'm not scared, I'm not scared. And then he'd scream as loud as his sister did. And it was funny. It was really cute.
SK and Kristy?
Well, for me, my fondest haunt moment didn't come in my own haunt, unfortunately. We had the people who put on the Harley Rendezvous up here also put on a haunted house every year at the same site that they did the Harley Rendezvous. So I got this bright idea to go in there with a mask that I had bought that year that was absolutely fantastic. It was like half human, half alien, half animal type, part bone, part muscle, and it was really scary as hell. So I decided to wear that into the haunted house, and I started scaring all the people that were working in the haunted house, thinking that was funny. Now, you know, being a haunter, I think that's kind of an asshole move. But at the time, by the time I got to the end of the haunt, the people who ran it said, "Everybody's coming up to us saying, you need to work here. Will you please come work with us?"
I'm seeing a little resemblance with the witch and you. About the asshole.
Are you related?
She's teaching me a thing or two. But yeah, so I ended up working the haunt. It was the last 2 days that it was open that I got to work it, and it was a lot of fun. And I actually scared one kid so bad he shit himself.
Oh no!
So
that's from the Bucks. That's from the Bucks.
A win.
That's the Bucks right there.
That's the W right there.
Right.
Michael and Laurie. Sorry, go ahead.
We
hold on. You guys keep skipping Kristy.
I know. She's got to have a moment.
Oh, yeah,
Laurie.
yeah, Kristy.
You're terrible.
I am
Kristy?
Well,
so you're not gonna say nothing after all that?
Really, yeah. Back when I had my haunt, my favorite moment was when one of my actors scared a mom so bad, she dropped her kid's candy and took off and left her kid standing right there.
Nice.
And he turns around, he's like, "Mom!"
Nice.
All right. Now we can move along.
Now you can move on.
Michael and Laurie.
we belong to a coalition of haunts in Southwest Iowa, and one called Southwest Iowa Trail of Terrors. There's all the big haunts are over in Omaha, so we're trying to drag people over here. So we got 5 haunts involved in that. Well, the actors from one of them are friends up north. A couple of the actors had a night off, and they came down and they came through the haunt. And one of them at one spot ended up having a panic attack and being in the fetal position, and had to be led out of the haunt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, because
that was pretty good.
Because it was another haunter that. Yeah, we don't recommend 12. Anything under the age of 12 coming through, because we don't want to. Okay. Although we did have a few parents bring their little kids, and sure enough, they were
terrorized because we are horror themed.
Yeah.
Don't matter. They bring him in. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I warn them. I say we don't recommend. Oh, they can handle it fine, but we have very good actors who know when a small child is bawling their eyes out.
You back off.
I'm gonna tell you, some haunters just ain't to be trusted. And And I'm one of them, dude. Don't bring your little kid to me. In my mind, I might be thinking don't scare, but it might come out, dude. There's no control in it. So, hey.
Just Bill.
All right. As far as my haunt goes, I don't have one yet because my fondest memory is back from when I was doing a yard display. I wish I had it with somebody crapping themselves, but nobody has done that yet to me. But my dad made somebody poop their pants back in the 80s, so therefore he's a better haunter than me, blah, 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 whatever.
Hey, you're man enough to admit it, man. That's good.
But anyway, real quick, my favorite story, it has to do with this mask. my favorite mask, which is, by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is Tor Johnson. He was a Swedish wrestler and B-rated movies and stuff like that. So anyway, my dad was a mailman, and he always put a mannequin at the mailbox, and he always put a mask on it. And then Halloween night, he would remove the mannequin, and I would go out there and take its place. And I'd be wearing this mask, and people who were too scared to come up to the house would be walking by, and they'd come up and look at this guy right in the eyes, and they go, "Oh man, look at this thing." look at its eyes. It looks so real. You know, and I'm just waiting for my moment, waiting.
Right.
And then finally I'm like, because I am real. And then they jump up and their flashlight breaks, and I'm like, oh shit. You know, and then they're like, oh man, that was awesome.
Dude, dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm like wiping my eyes. That's fucking beautiful. That's fucking beautiful. That's beautiful. Dude. I'm like my eyes on that shit. It's awesome. That is awesome. But we want to thank all. We want to thank all the guests for coming on, man. They've been amazing. Trust me, they've been so chatty. And it's like, I just knew it was going to be a good show. Everybody's been great. We got a couple things we want to mention. Kristy has some new haunt soap. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah.
Quick?
Right.
Oh, I make cold processed soap. Lately, I just made one using Froggy's Fog called fragrance called Gothic.
That's right, which is a sponsor of Hunters Hangout. So anytime you want to go get anything, go to Froggy's when it has to do with that. Yeah.
Tater.
Right.
Tater for the win.
Gotta love Tater.
Tater for the win. And we have anybody that's going to Trans World. We have Phobias Haunt. And,
wait, what? Going where?
Trans World.
Tans World?
Tans World?
Tans World?
It's Tans
Yeah,
World.
Tans World.
Everybody drink because they said Tans World. So we got to drink at that. That was
And it was said about 10 times there, so 10 drinks.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, but they do have a haunt at Trans World. It's not sponsored by Trans World, but they're going to have it in St. Louis. And if you guys are going to Trans World, then you have more than the opportunity to go. And Jackie will let you know the details right now.
Tickets will be available at the door and online, www.phobiashaunt.com. The tour is a full show with extra special guest actors on Saturday night. Tickets are $25.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, now make sure you guys, all of our sponsors, you know, they've been so awesome, and they've been repeated sponsors. They come on every year and give us tons of stuff. So make sure that you guys go to them for all your haunt needs. And if there's something there that they don't have, I'm sure we can find something to replace it. So we're gonna let Kathy say the prizes for all the winners today.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Are we ready?
Drum roll. Yeah.
The Froggy's Frog is going to Chris Stevens. The Fright Props Firecracker is going to Melissa Paulson. And we've got another Fright Props Firecracker going to Bob Cowell.
What's Bob gonna do with that?
Yeah, I know. How's he gonna make an insect that pops like that?
He'll make a giant one.
What, boy?
Okay, the FFX mask is going to Miles Dudley. And the Sam Haines Something Wicked download, Matt Rarick. And the Sinful Audio goes to Kit Espadata.
Yeah. There you go, Bill.
Please contact Julie Rydell by Friday to claim your prize.
Awesome. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming on. We got a couple things on Haunters Hangout coming up. We have Jim, you can't do it, but we have we have a fright props contest that we're gonna have. First, second, and third prizes. And we're gonna have more details on that. We do have the Haunters Hangout shirts that are going to St. Jude Children's Hospital. 100% of the profits are going to them. So make sure you guys get your shirt. I think the last we'll be closing that out like the second week of May or the first week of May. So there's no rush, but please get your shirt for the children, for the kids. And I want to thank all you guests. I want to thank Kathy LeBeau for coming on and, you know, doing the questions. She did an awesome job.
Well, thank you for having me. It was just
it was great. It was great. And then we got Jackie, our new host, that's doing an awesome job.
Yay, Jackie.
And then we have Jamie, which she's an all-around kind of. All right. Well, everybody say bye, and we're out of here.
All right.
Bye. Money pages.